All right, so we are live. Welcome to Run Wild with Us and Ask Us Anything. I'm Lisa Kastner. I am the founder, executive editor, and overall smarty pants for Running Wild and RIZE presses. And I am here with you on Thursdays between 5 and 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern time. Also, typically with a few of our editors. Oh, speaking of one of the devils, I see we have Ben. Hello, young man.
You mention wings and the angel shows up.
Isn't that amazing? Absolutely incredible. So I was just saying that we join the lovely people who join us Thursdays between 5 and 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern time. And we're just here to answer any old questions that they may have. And it can be about publishing, it could be about editing, it could be about the craft of writing, it could be about the business of publishing. It could be why Ben isn't wearing his kick-ass pumpkin T-shirt that he had on for Halloween, but that's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I went with Minot State University baseball today.
Nice, nice. So, if you do have a question for us, what you want to do in whatever relative area you are logging into this, because we actually do this live stream across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And we do actually save it so that if you ever you see this and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have time, I can't stay on, it's okay. You can just go ahead and go back and look at the recording. And so if you've got questions, all you have to do is put it into the chat. We always check in between during the month and to see if we have any new questions that arise. And we will be thrilled to answer said questions at the next session that we have with you guys. So all that said, I'm seeing we've got a little bit of a delay, so I apologize for that. Hopefully, I'm assuming it's my internet is a bit slow, but in the meantime, so I'm hoping this will clear up shortly. Um, so Ben, I know you and I were talking about you got a really bizarre email the last week. Uh,
Yes,
I don't. Do
it
you want to
was.
tell folks about it?
Yeah, it was kind of exciting, and it came out of the blue.
Mm,
It was from a person who works in a production company in Santa Monica, and said the potential for converting your book to film,
mm, mhm,
and went into the discussion. It said, "Hey, we got your book recommended from the American Librarians Association,
mhm,
and we've already shopped it out to some potential investors, and there are 5 who responded, and so you are all set to get anywhere between $200,000 and $500,000 for when they come back, and whoever wins the bid, whatever they bid on. The bidding starts at 200,000, so that's what you'll get."
Oh, wow.
And
Okay. Hmm,
so you're reading this and you're appreciating the recognition and the validation. So I
mhm,
knew I had a good book, and they asked me for my phone number. But the one issue that, well, it kind of turned into a red flag was,
mhm,
though we're operating with a non-disclosure agreement, please don't let anybody know, and that we're having this conversation. But there was no contract putting me in a non-disclosure position. So I
mm.
immediately asked Lisa, "Hey, what do you know about this bunch in Santa Monica, just south of LA there?" And so I got my publisher and my editor, who
Mm.
are the same person, uh,
What?
on the case, and looking for that more information. While I send them my phone number, and I'll go along with you as far as you want to go.
Mhm,
And uh, it sounded good. The offers, they sounded legit, but they said for the presentation to these investors that we have, and it was Warner Brothers and Disney and Netflix and a couple of others, some big names of production and movies. So he said, for us to make this pitch to them, we need a trailer, a marketing trailer. But we don't do it here at this production company. We're gonna hook you up with somebody else. So they sent me the information and the website for another organization that I sent them an email and said, hey, do you know this? I started doing my homework now. And said, do you know this person? Do you know this deal? Does this sound legit? I never heard back from them, but I did get a phone call from someone who said they were with that company. And then it got down to, we can do this trailer for you for $2,000. That was the big red flag. But the other homework in the backside was, well, let me check the blogs and see what people are saying about this. And everybody was saying, run quickly now. Don't even have the conversation, because it's just not a professional deal. But I did email the company and ask if the person I was talking to worked for them, and they finally got back to me and said, oh yes, he works here. And I said, okay, that helps. It took you long enough, but that does kind of help. But all in all, it just shook out to be a scam kind of offer. One of those too good to be trues. That there were just too many questions to ask, and then you throw the blogs in there, and then the non-disclosure statement up front without a contract to say, hey, this is the deal we have, or any contract at all. Although a couple of emails later, they did offer, hey, we can type this up and make it official contract for you, and if that helps. And it didn't help. That only kind of validated. You can have me sign anything, but what are you gonna do? Right. And how's it gonna work? But every indication was that email out of nowhere was not as legitimate as it may have been. And through the conversation, there was always, well, we've got these 5 investors ready to go, and then another email said, well, we're going to look for investors. And well, wait a minute, you've already got them on the hook. Why are you going to look for them? And so, pay attention to the details that come in an offer like that, and don't be blinded by the stars and the talk of money. We started paying off stuff right away, but
well, that's true.
Not really. I mean, but again, it was validation of your book, and every author likes validation for their book, but you just got to make sure that your excitement doesn't
blind you.
Yes, a great word there, and bleed over into making a deal where you just lose money. You're paying for somebody else's condo.
Hey, Peter, how you doing?
Hello, how you guys doing?
Good. We're just talking about a scam email that Ben got 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago now, yeah.
Yeah.
Buying a bridge?
making a movie out of my book.
Oh. Yeah. That's not very
I would have rather bought the bridge.
Right? At least it's some kind of physical product, but
yeah. What did they say that made it a scam?
Oh, it sounded legit until they hooked me up with a production company to make a trailer for the pitch to the investors, and that was going to cost $2,000. We can process your credit card right now. And I said, okay, well, I got to check with my accountant. She's downstairs. And they said, well, here's what I would tell her. Wouldn't she like to have new hardwood floors? Just red flags all over once we got to when it started talking money. But otherwise, I was all set. I was one one amount that they mentioned was, well, you could earn like $2.5 million on this deal. I said, well, that's shirt pocket money. Let's talk about some real money. I got that in my shirt pocket right now.
There you go. There you go.
Now,
you got to do the homework. And I was just telling Lisa that you can't let that validation of your work blind you to where you make decisions that you think are based on a legitimate deal. You got to do your homework. Because I checked the blogs, and there was nobody. They were using the same names of the people that I was talking to, so it was, they had gotten the same offer, and they said it's not real. Run, leave the house before it gets dark.
Yeah, and Ben smartly sent me an email asking, like, are these guys legit? And literally, like, the way their website's set up, it's clear they're an advertising agency. Like, that's what they do, is they just create promos.
Mm.
So, when he told me what the offer was, I was like, so no one's going to have, like, if you pick option A, you can get an ad for 15,000. If you pick option B, you can get an ad for like 10,000. I'm like, they're not a production company. They're not associated with the studio. I can tell you that right now.
No.
So
you
yeah.
shouldn't have to pay for anything like this either.
Yeah.
No. And I'll be honest, like, I have friends who are considered, top tier authors, and they get offers, all the time. If anyone came to them and said, hey, I'll give you 200,000 so that I have the rights to make this into a film, they wouldn't just do a happy dance. They would be like, dancing on the ceiling kind of thing. That's a lot of money. So there's no way they're going to do this for an unknown for 200,000.
Right. And that's Ben's pocket money. So, that's
just
right.
Call for that. Not just any pocket. That's my shirt pocket.
Shirt pocket.
Yeah.
That's not getting into my wallet pocket.
He does that in 5 minutes, on a regular day, let alone on a
regular day,
unexpected happy day.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I missed you guys last week. I was in Tennessee having a good old time.
How is Tennessee?
Oh, it's beautiful. The hills, the topography is amazing. I mean, I wish we brought up my motorcycle, but they don't quite fit those on the plane. So, that's what it is. But I did stop at an Indian dealership. I got my eye on an Indian Pursuit that just is begging to be my next bike. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's an awesome bike. It's awesome riding. Yeah.
What part of Tennessee were you in, Peter?
Fairfield Glade, which is about roughly between Knoxville and Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Down around Centerville and Crossville.
Right.
Yeah.
Crossville, Cookville. Yeah, around there.
Yeah, Cookville. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a Lebanon in there too.
Really nice people.
I have no idea. I've never been there. I'll just sit here and smile and nod nicely.
Nod along, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just south of where I grew up in Kentucky.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah. If you take 75 down to Knoxville, 75 up from Knoxville, then 30 miles back west, there you are. You're at the house. Might as well stop in and have some cornbread or something.
There you go.
I'm all for cornbread.
Yeah, we lived for a year in Charlotte, North Carolina, and that area is beautiful too.
Yeah.
Very cool. What brought you to that space?
We're looking at houses up there.
Okay.
Getting out of Florida, moving up to the Midwest, so we get 4 seasons and topography. I mean, I've lived all my life in Chicago or Florida, except for that 1 year in Charlotte. It's like I've got no topography around me, so riding a motorcycle up down on beautiful curves. It's really nice. And plus, I mean, it's the Midwest, so people are just comfortable. They're happy. They're, hey, how you doing, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wow, that's huge.
It was a pretty time of year to be there.
What's that?
It was a pretty time of year to be there with the leaves falling.
We caught the very end of the leaves turning gold,
Yeah.
Gold, red, and brown, beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. We went golfing for a couple hours, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I am a biker who golfs.
Hey, Whatever makes you happy, you know.
There you go.
Cognitive dissonance, man. I'm just trying to work that through.
So there's this cool bookstore in Nashville, called Parnassus Books, and I picked up Louise Erdrich's latest, The Mighty Red. It's
cool.
fantastic. It's fascinating. I love her writing. Anything she puts out, I pick up as soon as I can. I mean, she gets you. She doesn't do the standard 5 sentences in the opening paragraph. She just hits you by the end of the first page, middle of the second page. You're just in her world. It's amazing how well she writes, and she's writing from omnipotent point of view. Omnipotent point of view. So we get to go into each character, and she does it so delicately you don't notice it. But as an editor, I do notice it. And well, as far as I'm concerned, omnipotent is a really hard thing to do. It's almost harder than to do first person, because first person you really got to stay tight. But omnipotent, you can't stray too far, because if you do, the story just turns into a lake as opposed to the stream that you want it to be, for the readers to see what's going on with each character, what's going on with the scenery and everything. So I mean, it can be done, but it's difficult. But her writing is amazing. I highly recommend.
And you don't see omnipotent very often anymore. I mean, so many people are heavily reliant on either first person or third person close. So yeah, because it is that difficult. Absolutely.
That's what I love about the third person close, because you can give information about the characters through their observations. That's always been a big fun activity for me to do, is to show the area through how the characters assessing it or appraising it or considering it, kind of thing. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
And where are you, young man, with your novel?
I have gone back to the initial draft. I will have a finished copy in your hands on December 31st, if not before.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I'm excited.
It will be done. Yep. It's going to be a task, but I will do it.
Excellent. All right.
Do you have a publisher in mind?
Pardon?
Do you have a publisher in mind?
Well, there's one that's been kind of bugging me for the past 3 or 4 years to give her a manuscript. So yeah, I got a specific publisher in mind.
All right.
Do you have a publisher on the screen?
And you got your choice of editors, right? Like, that's just how it is.
I know.
I'm just saying. Awesome. Yep.
That's good though.
Yeah.
Whoever you want, and even if they're like, I don't want to work with him because he knows too much shit, I'll just be like, tough noogies, you got to do it anyway.
That's how it has to be. Hey, Ben, have we gotten any poetry submissions yet?
I haven't checked yet, but we need to advertise that tonight.
All right.
For everybody to know, we are putting together. We have opened a submission timeline for poetry. We've taken the no out of no poetry, please. So now it's poetry, please. And we're looking for, of course, we lean towards narrative poetry, but we're looking for good work that catches our attention. We're very much more exoteric minded than esoteric minded. So don't try to impress us with rainbows and flowers being symbols for something that we don't understand anyway. Because I personally, as a poet, I think that's why a lot of publishers say no poetry, please, because nobody gets it, nobody likes it. So tell us something that they like and we'll read. And but that said, and like we put together the submission notice, and we're looking for good work. And so even if it's a longer piece, just don't get lazy. We don't want lazy writing. That'll make us mad, and we'll never do another poetry anthology again ever. But don't be that guy.
And I just put the link to the submission page in the chat. I mean, we've published a lot of poetry. It's just that we lean towards narrative poems. That's all.
Yeah.
So.
And well, Peter and I had an email conversation this week about. I thought of 4 right away. There was mine and Shonda's, and then the Before You Knew Me. The author, and then Beckett's book.
Yep. Yeah.
So those 4 for sure.
Right. I've got a couple friends from our colleagues' friends from my MFA who are just phenomenal poets that I reached out to directly and they're both interested in submitting something. And one of them specifically mentioned that he's got a collection to publish, so I'm going to ask him to submit it. He said it's not exactly narrative driven, but his poetry is so amazing that I want us to take a look at it no matter what. It's fantastic. And then there's a third poet. His name is Victorio Reyes.
Okay.
And there's another poet who was a teacher at the program, Matthew Dickman, whose poetry just makes me stop and just stare. It's that fantastic. So
well, so far we have one submission.
All right. Everything starts for gotta start with something.
Gotta start with one. Absolutely.
It wasn't for me.
No, it wasn't. That's the real shocker.
It's a legit
it's almost
submission.
Always. It's a legit submission. That's awesome.
Anthology of one.
Well, you guys get to fight over who's going to be the editor for it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's not a very fair fight because I don't know how to edit poetry.
Well, that's okay. I didn't know how to edit poetry either, and so far, 3 people have put up with me. So
I'll give it a shot. I mean, I'm going to need a little mentoring there, but I'll give it a shot for sure. If Ben needs
it.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you guys should co-edit it.
Yeah. That works.
Totally. That totally makes sense.
So, how's your writing coming along?
Who, me?
Lisa? Yeah.
Oh, it is. Well, actually, I just realized. Hold on a sec. I think if I change this back.
I mean, Ben posts pretty much a poem every other day or so. So.
Well, that's because he's Ben.
He's Ben.
Ben. So I am still fleshing out my overall, like the structure of it and the miles that I'm sorry, I had a long day at work, so I'm using like work terminology, but like I'm like it's an agenda. No, the
the plot.
The plot. Thank you. Yeah, I'm still fleshing out the plot. Like I forgot how many Easter eggs or hints I leave for the reader around key additional storylines or characters or like things that you need to know about like how things work in this world. I mean, I left a lot. So I went through all of Cure, and now I'm about 2/3 or 1/3 of the way through Family Pack to do the same thing. But like on Monday, I'm presenting to the sales force at our distributor at IPG for all the books that we're putting out from, I want to say it's from May 1st to August 31st of 2025. And there are 11 books that we're putting out within that time. So, I had to put the presentation together and all that. And then I have another presentation that I have to finish pitching to capital investors. I'll be presenting to 10 capital investors on December 17th, I believe. But I have to have the first draft of the pitch deck in to the companies that are sponsoring it so they can review it and provide guidance. So, like those would become priority because, I mean, Monday's going to come up fast and December 17th is going to come up probably twice as fast just because I've presented to potential investors before, but not, they were typically associated with technology or like clean tech. And these guys are purely focused on interested in investing in creative companies. Oh, wow. So the pitch is a lot different. You know what I mean? So I'm working it, I figure once I knock out the presentation on Monday to our distributors, sales team, then I can refocus on the one for the capital investors. But like in between basically is when I'm fitting in working on my own stuff. Oh, and then I have I'll be at Dark Delicacies on Sunday of this upcoming Sunday for a book signing. It's myself and 6 or 7 other amazing authors who all wrote for, and I'm like, for this incredible anthology that's actually a benefit to help to raise funds for those who can't afford to go to a specific writers conference. And actually, I'm really excited about it. I believe we'll be there from 3 to 5 p.m. again this upcoming Sunday, and then the following Friday, I'll be at Book Soup, which is like this infamous bookstore, independent bookstore in, I believe they're in the heart of Hollywood. And I'm really looking forward to that just because, you've got like on your bucket list of places that you'd like to, like speak or do an event or whatever. I think they're on, it's called Shadows and Verse Poetry Book Signing is this coming Sunday. Um, but yeah, Book Soup. Anyone in the Southern California area, it's definitely on their bucket list of places to sign. So I'll be there on the 22nd at 7. And then I'm also at the Independent Voices Festival. I'll be speaking there on November 23rd. And that one, that should be a lot of fun. It's actually sponsored by the uh, libraries of Los Angeles. So I believe Cody's going to be there too. So that should be really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, and then in the middle of all that, I have all these classes or like workshops that I take at night with there's 2 programs I'm in. One is called MBDA, and that's the one where I'll be presenting to the capital investors on December 17th. They just basically keep prepping everyone who's in the program so that you have like a killer presentation for those investors.
Oh, cool.
And then the other one is called Intuit Ideas, and the company Intuit, they actually own MailChimp and QuickBooks and all that. Part of the grant is like the high-end version of all of their products for a year. People to train, not just train you, but kind of help you understand how to use it to like the so that you're really getting the most out of them, the products, and then to kind of help you take your like behind the scenes activities from the business perspective to the next level. So yeah, I'm just juggling all that along with doing working on War Dogs, which is the next book in the Cure series. So oh, and my birthday's next Thursday. So you guys get to spend time with me on my 53rd birthday. I know you're like so excited about that. So
yeah, I'm marking it down. The 21st of November.
21st of November. Yeah, we're just gonna
1971.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's it.
Well, my birthday was yesterday, so I beat you to it.
Woo!
Oh, well, happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday. What'd you do? Was that the trip, or?
That was part of it. I was just Kathy and I just went out to dinner and just hung out. So you get to be 56. It's not really a big deal. It's like here's a card. Okay, great, that works. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's good because my wife's birthday was Sunday, the 10th.
Oh wow!
Okay.
And I made her a card out of a paper plate.
You got her a paper plate? Is that what you just said?
I made her a card out of a paper plate.
And she didn't knock you upside the head, is what you're saying?
No, she expects it. Paper plates, one step up. I said, I hope everything on your plate is great.
Do you do this every year?
Oh, yeah.
It's better than a McDonald's napkin, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. Right?
Next year. Good idea, Peter. Thank you.
No, don't encourage him.
I was getting kind of stagnant.
Do not encourage him. No. That is so bad.
Because we've been married 37 years. So when she says, when
To each
she
other?
says bring her flowers,
Uh-huh.
she means stop by and get her a cup of coffee.
Okay.
We have our own language.
Hey, it all works. It
Yeah,
all works.
exactly.
Yeah. But now I can stop and get her a cup of coffee and a McDonald's napkin.
Wow.
She won't know what to do with herself.
She won't. You're going all super fancy. Yeah, Peter, admittedly, I'm probably going to be doing this same like I just go out with friends for dinner. Like that's about it,
Yeah.
you know. So, to me like the 53rd isn't it's not like a milestone birthday, but
More
a
like
friend
it's
of
where the hell am I? Am I this old? What the hell happened?
yeah, that's basically it. Like I would keep waking up thinking I'm 23 and then I'm like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's physically possible. Okay, wait. Yep, nope. It's not right.
Yeah, we're not 40 like Ben is, so I mean, we just.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I work with a associate dean who's in her 40s, and I tell her, you know, I sometimes forget that you're 20 years younger than me, but I can't forget that I'm 23 years older than you.
I find it interesting. I don't like the next generation still uses the like slang language and terminology that we actually either created or came up with. So
Oh, we
everyone,
still cool.
yeah, they still say like cool and like whatever. So that can, I guess my brain then goes, oh, then that means you're the same age. It's when they make like pop culture references that I have no idea who they're talking about. That's when it's like, oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Either who?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
had
Yep.
to explain to a class the other day who Janis Joplin was.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't have a clue.
Okay.
It's not that I'm getting older; it's the students getting younger.
Clearly, that is
Clearly.
exactly what's wrong. It's funny. Twice I was supposed to be on the same show as Janis Joplin. One of them I was actually supposed to be interviewing her, and in both cases she just didn't show up. And I mentioned this, I think I mentioned it to my husband like ages ago, and he goes, "Oh, she does that to everybody. She just randomly just doesn't show up." So if she actually does show up, you actually like mean something in her world. But I was like, okay. All right, guys. Well, we still have a half hour. We are at a little over the half hour mark. If you are watching and you have any questions for us, you are here with Peter, Ben, and myself, Lisa. I'd say we're what, about half of the core team for Running Wild and RIZE. And yeah, you can ask us whatever the heck you want. You can ask us about publishing and ask Ben about his wild experiences with I guess you could call it half baked production companies.
Kind of leery about asking Ben about his experiences with anything, but that may just be me.
There's gonna be a story there. There's 100,000 stories.
Well,
There you
that's
go.
true. Yeah, I mean, actually, any of us, because we're all very good at uh encountering wild, weird, different stories. So, but yeah, go ahead. If you have any questions, just go ahead and pop them into the chat of whatever venue you may be watching us. And if you are watching this and it is not between 5 and 6 p.m. Pacific time or 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern time, it's not a big deal. You can still go ahead, put your questions into the chat, and we will respond to them in our next session. So, sorry, I'm like adjusting the definition settings, like high definition, low definition, all that, to see if it improves the speed of this. It looks like it is a little bit, because like I can hear you guys fine. It's just that you both look like you're moving. You're like, what is it? The slow man. You're both moving super slow. So
So we're going to talk about how old I am again. I get it.
Yeah, right. Of course we can. Why not?
Hey, is
But
the press going to
actually,
be at
before I came up
AWP this year?
Huh?
Is the press going to be at AWP this year? I mean, it's right in your backyard.
Well, we're supposed to. So, believe it or not, I was actually talking to somebody else with another press, and she was saying that everybody she knows from the Los Angeles area and well, actually from Southern California, who submitted workshops or panels to AWP that's going to be in Los Angeles got turned down.
What?
So we're all curious as to who the hell whose panels they accepted, since no one local got accepted, is what it sounds like.
Weird.
But we're probably going to share a table with Woodhall Press, because I have some old friends who run Woodhall Press, and actually I think they may have gotten a panel. They're out of Connecticut, so that's really weird. But we'll probably share a table with them, and we'll probably do like an after hours event, like a reading or something at like a local cafe or bar. Um, but yeah, it's weird. Because I'm pretty sure like when they had it in previous years, um, when we've attended, they like went out of their way to make sure it was almost like a 80-20, like 80% of the panels were conducted by those who were local, and like 20% were not local, to like make it more, I guess, fair. But yeah, it sounds like they didn't do it that way this year. It's just weird. So um but yeah, I mean, as soon as I have more details, I'll let you know. AWP, their websites in the past have usually been pretty like it was easy to submit a panel, or easy to submit a workshop, and easy to submit like an after hours event. And oh my gosh, this year, like I hope I submitted the panels correctly. I'm not entirely confident, because it was just it took like 5 or 6 times to try before it finally accepted the panel. And then I'm still not entirely sure that it fully went through. So I'm still trying. And in previous years, when you went to submit like an after hours event, it was like a clear button, right? Like submit after hours event, or after hours or something like that. And then there was like a form that you filled out, like what the after hours event was going to be, when you wanted to have it, and like who was sponsoring it or whatever, right? Because AWP isn't sponsoring it or anything. It's just associated with it because you're one of the uh booksellers or whatever, right? And yeah, this year I can't even figure out how to submit an after hours event. So I don't know, maybe they just don't want to be involved in it.
That's weird.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really weird. Now I want to look it up. That said, I know we're signed up for American Library Association, and I'm planning on us having a table there. And if you guys know of any other events that you think might be good for us to attend, then just let me know. Like that, I think it would be really cool. So, oh, and I submitted us to be at the Ohio Literary Festival or Book Festival.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that might be fun. So, oh, okay. So now they've created an entirely new conference platform, AWP, and one part is registered conference attendees should have access to the Attendee Service Center, which allows attendees to view the registration, update their profile, view payments, and such. And then There's a whole nother section for a speaker service center. Okay. Wow, this is really complicated. And then it's like, and if you're an exhibitor, we've got a whole nother section for you.
Boy.
Oh, okay. I'll just email him on the side and ask, like, I am fully confused. What am I supposed to do? So anyway, so what else is going on, guys?
Not much. I'd like to say something was going on, but my big trip was last week. Just having my in-laws over for the Thanksgiving, which we're looking forward to. That should be fun. They're just really cool people to hang out with. We always enjoy hanging out with them. Yeah, and then we hung out with her brother and my sister-in-law last week. So
nice
family time, because it's the holidays, and you have to do family time with holidays. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
How about you, Ben? What's exciting in your house?
Let's see. Last night I actually zoomed into a poetry reading with 17 other poets for the Maintenance 18 journal, the Dada journal.
Okay.
And so it was in conjunction with the journal comes out of New York City, so it was with in conjunction with the New York City Library, and so they were co-hosting a Zoom event, and interesting readings, because the journal came out, so you could read your work from the journal, or it was open to read anything. So we had about 5 minutes apiece, and so I read some stuff from God as an Atheist, because I'm still trying to get on the banned book list. And, and Maintenance 18, it was a piece called Well-Fed Starvation. And
okay.
So I got to read that.
Mm-hmm.
But that was last night. And then tonight, right before I came upstairs to log on, the mail had come. And in the mail was that short story right there.
Sweet.
What short story? Right where?
I
can't see it. That doesn't mean everyone else can't.
The Pumpkin Man.
The Pumpkin Man.
Ah, cool.
Okay. And it's in the At the Edge of Darkness anthology from this is really cool. Shotgun Honey Press. And they're out of West Virginia. But that Pumpkin Man is the story that I wrote in 1986.
Whoa.
Wow.
And it's been looking for a home ever since.
It's old enough to drink and have kids, huh?
Yeah, seriously.
It caught up. But it was an instant Halloween classic as soon as I wrote it.
Obviously.
It just took me a while to convince people that. But the moral of the lesson is don't give up on your early stuff, because you never know.
There you go.
No, that's true.
Yeah, it was written in 86, and I had some friends who wanted to borrow it for their Halloween parties and read it for their Halloween parties, because it is a Halloween story, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it just didn't get any interest until Shotgun Honey. I was waiting for Shotgun Honey to come around.
So is it roughly the same condition and wording it was in back in 1986, or have you edited or revised it since then?
I revised it a little bit along the way. Just I clarified an Easter egg. At least we call it an Easter egg.
Right.
So I clarified that because it works out at the end. But the premise is still the same. It's just a few details along the way to make it clear. But very, very little editing over the last 30 years, 40 years.
So it was perfection from the beginning, right?
Oh yes, of course.
Oh, there you go.
I was gonna go.
It was actually written. It was written for a class and workshop, so it had a bachelor level creative writing class.
Okay.
But it was an instant Halloween classic.
Yep. And you finally convinced people that that was true.
Yes,
So.
I knew it. I knew it all along.
Dang damn it.
There's just no telling what other people think.
You just willed the journal into existence, accept your work. That's pretty good.
Be patient.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah. And,
Oh.
in '86, there weren't that many, as many places, journals to submit it to, or online, or a hard copy, whatever. They just weren't there, and so the market has changed.
Yeah.
That might have helped.
No, that's true. Absolutely. Yeah. And
it's a good time to be a short story / poet writer, I think.
Really? You think there's more opportunities out there?
Given the number of small presses and journals that are out there.
Yeah, that's true. There are a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think probably in the early 2000s they started popping up more, but especially online journals.
Yes.
They're like everywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I didn't do the math or the research, but I would think that the number and quality of MFA programs has something to do with that as well, because a lot of MFA grads are starting their own press.
Oh yeah. And there are a lot of MFA programs now. I mean, a lot of them also go defunct pretty quickly, but
yeah. They're poetry majors. They're not business majors.
Well, all right, that's fair. Well, Ben, your MFA program's long gone, right?
Yeah. The MFA at Tampa is gone. I think they still have the bachelor's creative writing degree, but not the MFA.
Oh, okay.
So there's still writers there, but I don't know, maybe poorly managed. I'm not sure what happened. I'm sure there's a good Florida Tampa story waiting to be told as soon as somebody wants to tell it.
Well, I mean, the one that Peter went to is synonymous with excellence. Just saying, it's still there.
Yeah,
they're hanging on. The president who was charged of the school actually was an attendee back in the early days of it. He stepped down, and the new chairperson or president came up, and within a year they decided that the building and campus were too dilapidated to fix or upkeep.
Oh my.
So they immediately started plans to scrap, to sell the massive, beautiful building, campus buildings, and now their summer one is in Colorado, and their winter residency is somewhere else. I don't know where the winter residency is, but the Montpelier, Vermont residency is no longer a thing, which is heartbreaking to those of us who attended there. I mean, I graduated 10 years ago, but it was a beautiful campus, beautiful experience. Yes, the buildings were a bit dilapidated. I mean, it was a 5 or 6 story monolith, beautiful building that needed some more care, needed some more help, needed new windows, needed new paint, that kind of thing. So I understand why they went the way they did, but I'm also disappointed that they had to go that way.
Yeah.
But
got it.
Going that way, they still kept up the quality of the top-notch teachers that they've got there. So they invested in the correct things, the correct part of the program. I mean, the buildings fell to the wayside, but the program is still top-notch.
Yeah.
Got it. Wow.
Yeah, VCFA has juggled or first and second place in top MFA programs with Warren Wilson College for as long back as I can tell.
Wow. Yeah. No, I mean, it's one of those it's like a lot of people's bucket lists is to go to that MFA program. So, or at least it used to be.
Yeah. I never thought I'd go to one, but my God, am I glad I did. I mean, there wasn't a day of work I had to do. It was just, I jumped in. It was like a little kid in a pool, and just everything that I did wasn't work. Everything I did was beautiful, wonderful, creative, critiquing, advising, accepting criticism. I mean, it was no work involved. It was something I wanted to do every time I got to do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was amazed when that it ended. I'm like, wait, that was all we had to do? That was easy. So, like, So now
Nice.
I'm eyeing a PhD. So one of my dear friends from school is currently getting her PhD
Hmm.
from a school in London, and I'm thinking about following in their footsteps because
Oh,
I got
wow.
the MFA. Why not get the PhD so I can teach? I mean,
So what would be involved in the PhD?
then we just started talking about it the other day, so I
Hmm.
want to do some research. But all the colleges that I'm looking to teach for require a PhD or a master's and a line of credits. You know, books published, short stories published. So
Hmm.
you know, I can kick some good stories out, some good books out while I'm pursuing the PhD. So
Hmm.
yeah, things are moving and shaking. You know, it's basically what you want to work for. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
writing isn't work to me. Writing is just fun. It's just pleasant. It's just neat playing with words. It
Hmm.
sounds pedantic, but I don't know. It's just something that I just enjoy, love doing. You know.
Yeah. Totally. Totally understand. Hmm.
So this shirt that I'm wearing, it's got the M on it. It actually stands for Motorcycle Riding School in
Hmm.
Chicago.
Hmm.
It's a motorcycle training center where I was a coach there for a couple of years.
Hmm.
MSF certified, Motorcycle Safety Foundation certified. That also wasn't work. That was a lot of fun teaching people how to ride. But whenever I had a rider who couldn't figure out what they were doing, messing up with the controls, I don't know if you guys ride or anything like that, but you want your body to operate the motorcycle without your mind involved. So if they were thinking too hard, they'd mess up the bike. They'd stall it out or crash it or whatever. I'm like, so I pull them aside. I go, just think about doing the one thing that you do that nobody asks you to do. The one thing you do just for yourself. I want you to think about that one thing. Every single one of them. Never had a problem after that.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
One true thing. Because everybody's got one.
Hmm.
Everybody does something for themselves that nobody asks them to do. They just do because they have to. So
Yeah.
that's writing and writing to me. So
Wow. Cool.
Very nice.
Hmm.
Yeah.
See, now I want to ride.
yes, you do.
But there are the PhD programs. Sometimes the program is set up for your dissertation to be your work, a body of your work, and sometimes they are set up to be a dissertation on the craft. And so I always was more interested in just writing my work and as the dissertation, the creative aspects.
Right.
Some are more educationally minded or academically minded with the program. So ask your friend which way the school in London is.
Yeah.
And help that make your decision. But there, either way, you're still around that. You're in that environment where you're talking about writing, and I think you'll find the same experience with the PhD as you did the MFA.
Yeah, that's good advice. That's sage advice. Thanks, bud. Definitely ask her.
Well, I'm here for you. You know that.
Appreciate that, buddy.
I just love the idea of going to school in London. Like
Yeah. I don't care what they make me do.
Yeah.
I'll sweep floors. Doesn't matter.
Right. Exactly. Right.
My dissertation. I
You
get
want
my
me to-
PhD, like a Kentucky PhD is a posthole digger, but I'll take it.
I'm like, you want me to come and do what? It's like, here, get your PhD from Hawaii. Ah, darn. You mean I have to go and do some low residency stuff or something?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm so upset. Okay.
Sure.
Sure.
Put me on a plane. I'm there.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, you'll have to tell us about it as you get more information. It sounds really
for
cool.
sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I look forward to seeing what comes out of the poetry anthology. That'll be really cool.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna reach out to one of my friends, colleagues who was the teacher of the program, who's the poetry I was talking about. I'm gonna reach out to him tonight, but I'm gonna ask my friend Victoria to submit what he has to see what Ben thinks about it, because this guy is just an avant-garde poet. I mean, he's an amazing person.
Cool.
So he's right on the edge of the political scene. So yeah, he's not a quiet person.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The work you had from was it Greg?
Victorio. Oh yeah, Greg. Did Greg submit something?
No, the guy that
you showed me his work.
okay.
What?
You showed me his work earlier. In our early discussions about the anthology, you showed me some of his work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. His work's amazing. What he does is he's like, okay, all these poems, every word in this poem can be no longer than 5 letters. He
Oh,
writes a structured poem with just 5 letters per word, or put a I don't know, the thing where he can't use the letter E. Every word in his poem has to not have the letter E in it. Those are the structures that he puts on himself, and he creates these amazing poems that just they make sense. But my God, the militancy he has to put in place to abide by his own rules, incredible.
wow. Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It's like the opposite of erasure poetry. You know, I mean, this is confining words to a specific subset and cranking out the work anyways, and having it make sense and be beautiful in its own right. It's really neat.
Wow. Cool.
So he's definitely going to submit some stuff.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. That should be awesome. Mm-hmm.
So,
well,
3 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, we've only got like 5 minutes left. I don't know if no one has any questions, and if you guys want, we can always just end a little bit early. It's all good. So yeah.
This should go down as the one talk or the one ask us anything where I did most of the talking. Feels like it never happens.
Well, because you don't come all the time. Not that that's any pressure or anything.
We got to catch up. You got to catch up.
You do. You've got to catch up, man. Yep. You've got all these hours that you need to like fill in. So
lots of fun work to do too. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, then with that,
I wrote a collection of poems. It's called a Close and Distant Friend, and all the poems, the line count is the same for all of them, but they were all written on a Tuesday over a year.
Oh, okay.
And so it was you know, let me revisit a close and distant friend every Tuesday for 52 weeks. And so there's 52 poems that one or two of them are pretty good.
I'd say the odds are a lot better than one or two, but okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But they all, but that's kind of restricted, you know, the creative restriction you put on yourself and say, well, I can't write it until Tuesday. That's a Tuesday. What happened? Where's my mind going to be next week? Is it going to be that much different? And you can go back and see, well, what words, what are my favorite words? And there's a trend in the favorite words.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everyone who joined and anyone who's going to be joining us in the future. And as always, Ben and Peter are freaking rock stars. So we will see you guys next week. Cool.
Next week.
Cool.